Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Well, let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning to talk a little bit about this big event that's happening at the Four Corners Regional Airport. Gary Risley is here, one of the co-chairs of the event. Gary, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to KSJE. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Wonderful studio.
Thank you very much. And you've got a big event coming up for the Rotary Club, so we want to talk a little bit about that,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
And the San Juan Rotary Club, talk to us a little bit about that as well. Of course, I think a lot of folks are familiar with Rotary International and the good work that Rotaries do and Rotarians. My father was a proud Rotarian, so talk to me a little bit about the club.
Well, our club is the San Juan Rotary Club, or officially the San Juan County East.
Okay, right, because there's a couple.
And it was originally the Aztec Club, which went defunct. That's probably the best word for it.
All
and
right.
And our club was revived in the late 80s, and we were located on the at the time meeting at the Country Club.
Right.
And so we were the San Juan County East Club. And over the years, we've evolved. We now actually meet over at the Leadership Center at Pinion Hills Church. And, Rotary is a service organization. The motto is service above self. And so what we want to do is work towards making our community a better place to be, a better place to live. And so we do various aspects of projects throughout our community and actually assist both on a district level, because we have our basically the district for us is New Mexico and the El Paso clubs.
Right.
And then we're part of a bigger unit, which is the U.S., and then Rotary International is about 1.4 million people worldwide. And you can go as a Rotarian to any country, anywhere, and go to a meeting, and you're going to be welcome there. And it works very hard. Rotary is a unique organization in that there's no political aspect to the club, and so that opens up doors in a lot of countries where we might otherwise be allowed to do service work. And so our foundation is a huge worldwide benefactor. Water projects are a big thing as far as bringing clean, potable water to various areas of the world. You may have
a lot of places still don't have that, which is surprising, I think, to a lot of folks. And there are a lot of Rotary projects that have allowed villages and communities to now have potable water.
And our club has worked particularly with the Albuquerque clubs and some other clubs in our district, for example, in South America, helping people in those particular areas. The polio eradication program, you probably have heard the Gates family's involved.
Right.
But that's a Rotary project. It started in the Philippines. And Bill Gates' dad is Rotarian. And so as he became involved in it, the Gates Foundation became involved in it, to the point that now that polio has been eradicated in all but 3 countries of the world. From 125.
Amazing, right?
And we're down to, at one point we thought we had it eradicated, but we're down to 3 or 4 cases a year maybe.
Okay.
So those type of things, and it all started with a small Rotary club in the Philippines. So there's things that you can do, and that's on the international level.
Right.
There's a lot of things we like to do on the local level. Our biggest project we're probably working on now is a reading project that we work in coordination with McCormick Elementary. So we kind of tell the kids, if you want to succeed, you have to read. And so what we do over there is we purchase the books, and they use them from grade 1 through 6. I think it's 5, whatever's over at the location there.
Right.
And the whole school reads it. And they work with their parents, they work with the other students, they help each other progress. And so to encourage the kids to do that, what we do is we ask them to read, and they get there's points, sections that they get credit for doing so. If they do so, they get tickets for the drawing of a bicycle. And so we award a boys' bike and a girls' bike to each grade level. So it's a great fun for them. It's also great to see, because that's a very low income area. So a lot of kids, bicycles, they would never dream of having one on their own.
Especially not a brand new bike, right?
Brand
and this
new
is what we're
bike,
talking about. Yeah, not maybe a hand-me-down from Big Brother or Big Sister.
Right.
This is brand new.
Brand new, yeah. And so the excitement is, just electric in the school. But at the same time, we also see a lot of kids that already do have things that they'll donate their tickets to somebody else who doesn't.
Oh, how cool!
And so they learn to share, they learn to support each other, and so that's but that's an expensive program.
Mm-hmm.
We fund it. We have other clubs that assist us, and the district has been funding us. But that district funding can't go on indefinitely. So that's part of what the fly-in is about, that we're going to talk about here in a minute, is a fundraiser for us to get the funds to be able to do our local charity work.
Right, and that's kind of where we are. And you're right. The event coming up to raise more money for things like this. But,
yes.
But it shows you kind of what Rotary does in the community and for kids in the community, for sure.
Right. That's the next generation you have to invest in. We've done, for many, many years, we've sponsored scholarships over at Navajo Prep. Again, because we believe that the best route for anybody is your education. So if you can get a good education, you have opportunities. Whether you choose to avail yourself of them or not, that's your choice.
Right.
But we give
it does
you
open a lot of doors. For
sure. It
sure.
opens up a lot of doors. I know my mom always used to hammer to me, probably why I got as much education as I did, is that she said, people can take everything away from you in this world except your education. And if you have an education, you can start over, and I've had to do it 2 or 3 times, so I understand.
Smart lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gave me the opportunities to do what I'm doing today.
Very good. Well, let's talk about the event that's coming up,
Sure.
because it's a great, it sounds like a great event, and tickets are available now, but they'll also be available at the gate.
That is correct.
On the day of the event, and so we want to show everybody kind of what we're talking about. If you're watching us, and we always tell you to watch so you can get more information, but is the fly-in, drive-in, dine-in event, pancake breakfast, plane, car, bike show, Saturday, September 28th at the airport, Four Corners Regional Airport.
It is, and this is kind of I guess I must take credit as my brainchild, but I was sitting there saying, what can we do as a unique fundraiser, something that the community would enjoy, but at the same time would give us the opportunity to fund the activities that we were talking about before, because it does get expensive.
Right.
Our club pays for itself through its dues. But the funding that's required to do a lot of the larger projects, we need outside resources to do so. Especially when you have 45 people, 50 people, it's kind of hard to fund a lot of this stuff at several $1,000s a pop.
Right.
So the pancake breakfast aspect of it was, again, I'm a pilot, so I love airplanes and I love airports. So I thought, well, what could we do? And I've seen a lot of these fly-ins, and I flew down to the EAA has one down in Albuquerque every year. So I got a kind of gist of what they're doing. And I said, okay, what can we do that would be fun for the community and give people an opportunity to get up close and personal with aircraft and other type of things. We'll talk about those in a second. What would make money for us.
Right.
And then Mike Lewis is another Mesa Airline alum. He and I go back many, many years, and he's in our club as well.
And he's the airport manager.
And he's the airport manager. So I asked Mike, can we do this, and can we secure the airport to make sure we have that? And he agreed with it. And so we're looking at that aspect of it. And then finally we said, how can we benefit this community and what we're doing in our community all around? And said, well, jolt your journey. Because you have a fly-in, you're inviting people from other areas of the country to come in and do those type of things. So it's really kind of that combination of what our goals are. And so
kind of checks all those boxes, doesn't it?
We did, yeah. Every Experimental Aircraft Association chapter on the Western Range and all the way down to Phoenix and then the state of New Mexico have been invited to this event.
Okay.
I don't know if 2 of them are showing up or 5,000 of them are showing up. But also the New Mexico Pilots Association, which are backcountry flyers normally. Right. This is their main event for the summer. It's fall.
Okay.
And they're having their annual kind of a meeting here on that night. So they're going to be flying in. And so we've made it very attractive for the pilots. We have discounted if they want to go to the Four Corners, go trout fishing, we have discounted hotels and guide tours for them. If they want to go out four-wheeling on the Razors, we have that discounted for them.
Perfect.
We have other opportunities. We're actually Doug Dykeman in our club is an archaeologist. And so he knows where every site is, including the old ancient Chaco and Anasazi Road.
Right.
Well, if you're flying at what we call the golden hour, right after sun up or right before sundown, you can actually still see it. And
the way the light hits the ground, right? Yeah.
And so
cool.
he is setting out the Latin logs for us, and we're going to let these guys do a self-guided aerial tour.
Okay. Wow.
Of that whole area. So
very cool.
And other prominent sites.
Sure.
So we're introducing a lot of people to that aren't from here to what we have to offer in the area, and hopefully that'll bring them back again and again. So that's the Jolt Your Journey side of it.
Right. Now get me some insights into the mind of a pilot, that it's not unheard of to fly 400 miles for breakfast or something and do some of these things, or is it?
No, it is. It's quite the norm. Pilots have a saying about the $100 hamburger.
Okay.
Probably a $200 hamburger now, but I'll get up and I'll fly a couple hours to go to a restaurant on an airfield or do something like that. It's an excuse to fly.
Sure.
It's an excuse to go somewhere new.
Right.
And get out and about. And so a lot of people will do that. So my aircraft, that's about a 2-hour flight to Phoenix, mm-hmm. and that's kind of where I kind of drew the circle. Salt Lake, that's a couple of hours.
Right.
So Montrose, Grand Junction, those guys, they may hop on down here. So those are the things that pilots just give me a reason to go. Mm-hmm. And in this case, we hope to give them a reason to go and stay a night or two.
Right.
So we have to be.
But it's pretty common. Pretty common for folks to just get in the plane and fly somewhere for the day and go home.
Well, like last year, the Rotary Club in Winslow has a similar event to this. Mm-hmm. And I took Mike and Jody from his assistant at the airport, and we hopped over there last year, and hour 15 flight over there. What did we do? Went down, ate pancakes, visited a while, got the plane, come home.
There you go.
So
perfect.
Yeah.
And as a pilot, though, you need to have a certain number of hours, don't you, every year to maintain your status, I guess?
It's probably not, I won't say it's legally required, but it's the best practice.
Sure.
Because if you're not flying, you get rusty. It's a skill set that can atrophy, mm-hmm. Whether it's the decision-making process or actually handling things. So pilots like to get out. I mean, if you have airplanes are kind of like boats. They're pretty expensive toys, and there's things to keep around. So if you're going to have them, you like to utilize them. And
sure.
So you're either working on it or you're flying it. So
one or the other. But it's more fun to fly it.
It's a lot more fun to fly it. Yes. It's a lot less expensive to fly than work on it, I think.
Yes.
But those things are guys just like to get out and go.
Right.
And part of this is we want to expose the public to the general aviation side. So these guys that come in are going to make their airplanes available to you to come get up close and personal and look at them. And we're also making available, Russ Gervais is going to be there, and he's going to be offering discovery flight opportunities, not at the event, mm-hmm. but he'll explain to you what it is. And a discovery flight is an inexpensive first flight. If you ever thought you might want to learn how to fly,
okay,
he'll take you out, give you a brief introduction to the airplane, let you get in it, and you go out for a relatively inexpensive cost to see what it's like.
Nice. And that's part of this event, too, is kind of to at least make that introduction
right.
and find out who can offer that in the area.
Yeah, Russ Gervais is the flight instructor who's agreed to come and do that for us.
Okay.
And
the other planes then will be kind of on display, I guess?
Yeah, they'll be parked on the ramp, and we ask
mm-hmm.
the pilots to hang around a little bit, make it available, explain what kind, there's an incredible variety of aircraft that are available, especially if they get into the experimental categories.
Right, and they should be here too. Some of those.
Yeah, we're inviting those.
Idea?
Yeah,
right.
Tail draggers, traditional manufactured aircraft, experimental aircraft. There's no telling what's going to be on the ramp.
Okay, and then there's also a car show and bike show component to this
We've
too. We've
invited the classic car folks and the hot rod folks and the 4-wheeler folks and any folks, anything.
You're going to fill the airport there.
We'd like to fill that ramp up with you guys. So if you guys are out there that have those type of vehicles, you're welcome to come up. We'll have you register on the site. You get in free.
Okay.
Your passengers get in for half price up to 3 passengers. So you can come on in and just register with us, and we'll put you out there on the ramp, put you on display. The Harley guys, the other off-road guys, the dirt bike guys, any type. If it's got 2 wheels, and if you want to pedal your bicycle up there, I guess that's fine.
Okay. All right. There you go. I have a new e-bike, so maybe you'll see
me
up there. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. There you are. And the tickets are $10, right?
They're $10 for adults and $5 for basically ages 5 through 12. Under 5 is in free.
Okay. And 12 plus is $10.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So 12 plus. Yes. Thank you. And so it's. I think it's, again, keep in mind it is a fundraiser, and it goes to our community to support that. But I think you're going to have a really good time. We've also invited the Radio Control Club, Flying Club.
Right.
And they're talking about bringing up to 100 airplanes. And they won't be flying them because they can't fly them at the airport, but they can fly them in the hangar. So some of the foam electric type stuff and those type of things.
Right.
And they're also working on bringing their simulator. So you can go in and see if you can fly an RC aircraft and may get the opportunity to crash at one or two of them if you want to.
On the simulator.
Yeah, on the simulator.
There you go. But that's cool as well. And I think a lot of folks, a lot of us never get to see kind of the other parts of the airport. And then this is going to be opening up some of the hangars and other areas of the airport that a regular passenger may not always see.
Right. The hospital is scheduled to bring in both their helicopter and the air ambulance because we are very unique in a rural community to have the medical services we have and the availability that we have.
Right. That's true.
And if you are at the airport, that airplane is flying usually multiple times a day to Denver or to Salt Lake or to some other location where critical care, care that cannot be offered here is available to people, but they're too critical to drive that far.
Sure.
And of course, the helicopter itself is an emergency air ambulance. So the Sheriff's Department is scheduled to bring in their helicopter. You can see the resources that are used and how it's used. Of course, we also have a couple aircraft we'll talk about here in a minute. The B-17 that's going to be here, Seminole Journey.
Right.
And a V-22 Osprey that's going to be here. Military Huey will be here. All those will be coming in. And so
lots to see. I mean, just from what you're describing, I mean, it's a family event, and I imagine the kids are going to be wide-eyed to look at all these smaller airplanes and gigantic airplanes and all the ones in between.
I've never seen a kid that wasn't excited about aviation.
Right. Yeah.
And the opportunity to see things. And then, again, we have a lot of people in this area that are just very mechanically inclined in the oil field and other things.
Sure.
And so they just love, they get to look at these cars, they get to look at these four-wheelers, they get to look at these rock crawlers. There's a lot of things that I think it's kind of a fair if you don't think of it that way.
Right. Very true. Very true. To get tickets, folks can get them now, right? They can go to Eventbrite, I guess, is where you're selling tickets.
Yeah, the tickets are on Eventbrite, and we could give you this long quote, but I think if you just go to Eventbrite and type in Rotary Fly-In,
that'll find it.
Or San Juan County, it will pop up on the screen.
Or from your Facebook page too. I know you've got an event on the San Juan Rotary Facebook page.
Yes, and it has the link. So if you go into San Juan Rotary on Facebook, it'll pop up. You'll see a B-17.
There you go. Click
on that. It'll show you. It'll have the link there, and you just hit the link. So that's a secure link. The money goes into our account. It goes to Eventbrite, who pays us at the end of the event, but it will all be there.
Right. You can also get tickets at the gate, though,
Absolutely.
right? The day of the event.
Tickets at the gate. It'll be either cash, or we also will have a credit system set up with the little electronic cube or whatever the version is.
Okay. Now, we're not going to the terminal to get to this event, right? It's a different entrance.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. As you're coming up the hill,
right,
the first gate, as you see, as the airport is G4. That is what I call the old Mesa hangar. It's the big green hangar.
You would know.
I would know. It's on the left side of the gate 4, but you'll be parking across the street. The airport has again been a fantastic partner in this, and they're doing things. They're accelerating things they already had planned, and one of them is leveling that lot over to the south of the road,
right,
and it'll be abundance of parking there.
Okay.
And if
you make it to the terminal, you went too far, but you just loop around and come back.
Come back.
And before you go down the hill, stop. And that's where you want to be.
Hopefully we'll have our big old blow-up Rotary sign right there by the road.
Can't miss it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And just pull in there, then you'll come in one of the doors of the hangar.
Right.
And we'll have our ticket location sitting right there so that you'll be able to quickly come in. And it's a simple breakfast. It's pancakes, sausage, orange juice, coffee, water.
Yeah.
You'll get full.
That's true. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Again, I think we just wanted to make it easy, make it old Boy Scout. We used to keep it simple, make it fun, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with this.
Right. It is coming up, everybody. Mark your calendars. September 28th. It is the Fly-In, Drive-In, Dine In event to benefit the San Juan Rotary Club at the Four Corners Regional Airport. Starts at 8 till noon.
8 to 12. Yep. His breakfast is served. Gates will be open at 7:30.
So you can make it brunch, I suppose.
Yeah.
If brunch is your thing. There you go, everyone.
Yeah. For late lunch.
Right. Exactly.
Late breakfast.
Exactly. I want to ask you a bit about this B-17 because that is another great get, I think, for an event like this. And that airplane has a lot of history. This is the Sentimental Journey. B-17. You mentioned there's a picture on your event, which there it is.
Yes.
But it's a huge aircraft, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
big.
it was kind of the backbone of the 8th Air Force that served in Europe, and B-17, and then the Liberator itself, the other model. But so it's it's just iconic from World War II.
Right.
It's coming into town. It'll be here on, I believe, Tuesday, and they'll be offering ground tours that you can go in. You pay to go in because those things are expensive to operate.
Right.
And then on I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you can actually take rides. They sell rides. That's separate from our event.
Okay.
But you can, like on Saturday morning, if you want to, you can come in. You'll pay us, and you can, if you want to tour the airplane, it's a separate fee, but you can do that. And so that's one of the things that we're offering because, like I said, we moved our event from the 14th to the 28th to line it with this particular opportunity.
With that visit, right. And I've got a video of this great airplane in flight, because it does fly, and it's really a flying museum.
It is.
If you will, from World War II. And I want to share that with our viewers because I think it's just so iconic to see it in the air. So let's take a look and a listen, everybody. Here we go. For visual radio viewers, a little bit of footage there of the B-17 and the other airplane, Gary Risley, remind me again, that we saw in the video. B-24, thank you.
Yeah, so what Doolittle used on the raid to Tokyo.
Okay, very interesting. But the B-17 is what's coming here.
Correct.
And it's part of your event, the San Juan Rotary event on September the 28th. And we wanted to talk a little bit, too, before we run out of time, about another tour opportunity.
If you are interested, you can take a helicopter tour.
Okay.
They're coming in from Durango. Alpine is coming in with their helicopters. I think it'll be $75, and you'll get a chance to ride in a helicopter and go see the area from a visual viewpoint that you might not otherwise see. Haven't been in a helicopter before. It's a lot of fun, and it's different, but you have great visibility in these aircraft, and I think you'd greatly enjoy it.
Nice. Well, very good. You got something for everybody, it sounds like to me.
We're trying.
On this event. So it's coming up, everyone, September 28th, 8 to noon, pancake, breakfast, brunch, early lunch, whatever you want to make it. Ages 12 plus, $10, and 5 and under are free. And folks can check it out.
Yes, I can.
And raise money for the San Juan Rotary Club.
Hopefully for our projects in the community. Yes.
Exactly. And there you go. And the tickets are at the gate or online. The easiest way is to go to Eventbrite and search for San Juan Rotary or Fly-In or something in Farmington, New Mexico, and
September
you'll find
28th, it'll pop back up.
There you go. You'll check it out. So wonderful. Gary Risley, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. It's been a pleasure. Gary Risley, my guest from the San Juan Rotary Club here on KSJE. And I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time right now is 8:37. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.